The way I see it, you basically have three options if you're trying to do one of those digital detox things. So your first option is one of those like minimalist apps. I think one of the apps is actually called Minimalist. I think that's the one I used. I even paid for it at one point. Those I think are kind of the bottom tier intentionally. They still give you full access to everything you might want off your phone, which is kind of the problem. They just work through adding a lot of friction to the experience. And I think that can be really effective for some people, but for me, it just wasn't because there are certain times where I do want to be using my phone. The second option is getting like a dedicated dumb phone. I think that's a better option, but the problem with getting like a full-on dumb phone that you put your SIM card into and everything is for most of us that's not feasible at all. Most of us need the actual apps and features that our phones have. The Light Phone 3, I think, has always looked really cool. Let me see what it costs. That's $700. I can't pay the price of a regular phone for a less capable phone. So that brings us to the third option, and if you have watched this channel before, not surprising option. If you haven't watched the channel before, very surprising option. The Rabbit R1. The first thing we talked about was the adding friction to your phone, using friction as the part to stop you from using your phone. It doesn't work because it requires you to have the willpower to just not turn it off, or in my case, maybe I don't have the willpower to just turn it off, to not just turn it off. But more importantly for me is I sometimes do want my phone to look like my phone. I don't want it to be minimalist all the time. So then that brings us to our second option, which is the secondary dumb phone. Not a good option for me. Too expensive. You need a whole nother phone number that everyone's got to remember, or you've got to switch SIM cards back and forth, which if you're on an iPhone, actually, if you're on an Android too these days, that's kind of no bueno. So that brings us to the third option, and this is the only one that doesn't work through adding friction to the experience. Although it does add friction to the experience, I don't think that is the core of how it works. So if you haven't seen my video on the Rabbit R1 as a dumb phone already, you can go watch that, but you don't have to. Like I'm gonna give you the information you need here. Basically, you set it up through either OpenClaw, Hermes, or Claude Code. You set it up to your Mac or your Windows computer. I mean, you're gonna have to talk to Claude to figure out how to do it like that. I didn't do that. And then on my laptop, it just accesses my iMessage right off there. The real benefit to this is the hot swappable nature. I can just pick up the Rabbit when I want to detox. Again, we're going to get into why I don't really like that term for what I'm talking about. Just pick that up when I want it, pick up my phone when I want it. All the messages are synced because it's all on my laptop, right? This doesn't actually have anything on it. I think it's a much better experience. And it works so well because this inverts the nature of the phone. So even the Light Phone 3, when you get a notification, it's going to buzz you. The Rabbit R1 inverts this entirely. The only way you see any information that you want to see is if you tell it, show me this. I want to see this. Like, check my messages, check my email, send a message, whatever you want to do. You initiate every action on the Rabbit R1. I think that's a totally different concept than all the other phone ideas. And I think it works much, much better. It also doesn't leave you stranded in terms of things you might actually need while you're away from your phone. You have a voice memo recorder, so you're not going to forget any like big ideas you had or whatever. Now, I told you I was going to tell you why I don't like the term digital detox, even though I used it in the title and probably in the thumbnail, and I'm going to continue to use it because that's the term everybody uses. I don't like it because you don't finish an actual detox and then go back to what you were doing before, right? Like you don't detox off alcohol and then go back to drinking. So if you're doing a detox off your phone, you shouldn't really be going back to your phone, right? But none of us are really going to do that. That's not how the world works these days. And I'm not suggesting you do that. In fact, I think that's why this works so well, because you can go back to your phone when you want to, right? This isn't about limiting your options on things. It's about giving more control to you and putting you in the driver's seat of what you want to be doing with your life, right? Do you want to scroll Instagram Reels all day? Or do you want to do something else? I don't know what's going on in your life. I don't know what the fuck you want to do, right? Probably not scroll Instagram Reels every single day. I scroll Instagram Reels all the time, just not all the time, right? So I think the Rabbit is a really great way to just take a break for a day or two, or even just you're going out and you want to take a break for a little bit, not even the full day. You just want to leave your phone at home while you go out and get groceries or something, right? Totally doable.